Okay, so it looks like Christian Combs has been faking big time, because word on the streets is that he is in full panic mode. If you're wondering what exactly he has to be worried about, well, fans are convinced that he's tied deeper into his daddy's shenanigans than we know. But it's crazier than that, because the streets are saying that Christian has been secretly cooperating with the feds against his father. It looks like Christian is trying to save his own skin, but this is not sitting well with his siblings, especially the sisters. This seems to be causing a lot of drama between the siblings, and it looks like Christian is about to get exposed as a snitch. So does this mean that he cut a deal with the feds? And is Diddy going to cut him out of his will over this? Let's get into it. Honestly, if we were to guess which one of Diddy's kids would be the first to snitch on him, Christian would not be the first name on our list. First on our list would be Quincy, for obvious reasons. He's the only one who's not Diddy's biological child. His bio father, I'll be sure, also hates Diddy's guts. Plus, Quincy is the only one of Diddy's sons not to have been named in a lawsuit, so yeah, he would have been the first on our list. Child, we'd have expected the girls to fold before Christian. They're younger, more delicate, so it wouldn't have been surprising if they have folded. But nope, they didn't, and according to fans, it was Christian who eventually cracked. Now, I know that a son snitching on his own father might seem wild, but when you actually think about it, I guess we shouldn't be so surprised. On one hand, Christian has his own legal drama to think of, and if the feds had approached him with a deal, there's a huge chance that he would have probably taken it. But before we get into his legal drama, can we talk about how Christian has a big mouth and always seems to be somehow spilling the tea on Diddy? It's like he has no filter, and he's always saying something that gets his family in even more trouble. For example, y'all remember when Diddy was raided by Homeland Security last year? Christian and his brother Justin were detained during the raid, so you'd think that he would be smart enough to keep his mouth shut, right? I mean, he already knew that the feds were looking hard into his family and had more than enough reasons for a raid. And girl, if the feds come raiding, you already know that they're building a solid case. But for some reason, Christian thought that it was the best time to release a song about how the feds missed a lot of evidence. And he even revealed where Diddy had hidden the evidence. He said, "Knock them walls down like when them Fetty boys running both our cribs. Too bad they ain't know we bought the one next door, cause that's the one they missed. How y'all talking like a ninja? Time up, throwing shade, get your shines up, asking where my pops at. He on the G6 getting the lineup." But that's not all, because he also tried to diss 50 Cent for trolling Diddy, saying, "I dare one of you ninjas scream out no Diddy when all they had was 50 Cent who put the city on the map. Stop lying, Pop's been hated on by many men, and man, that's fine. They gonna try to stop these M&Ms and they gonna die trying." This was tone deaf, to say the least, but you have to wonder if Christian did it on purpose to try to signal the feds about what they had missed. If he's really snitching on Diddy like the streets are saying, what better way to do that than to sneak it into a supposed diss track? It's pretty smart. But why on earth would he snitch on Diddy? Well, it's likely not because he thinks that his dad is guilty, but he seems to be living a very similar lifestyle to his father. There's a widespread belief that the reason he's doing this is that he's seriously freaked out seeing how big of a mess his father is in with the feds. There's a very high chance that Diddy is going to prison for at least 20 years, and that is not something that Christian wants for himself. For example, y'all remember Christian's lawsuit? He has been trying to get it dismissed for more than a year, but the judge has thrown out his petition over and over again. And honestly, it's not hard to see why the judge will refuse to throw out the case, because it sounds pretty serious. For context, he was sued in April last year by a yacht stewardess named Grace Omarka, and Diddy was named as a defendant. According to reports, Omarka alleged she was 25 when she was working on a super yacht called Victorious in December 2022 when Combs leased it. She claimed the disgraced music mogul had full control of the staff and premises of the yacht over the holiday period. The court documents said the makeup of the yacht quickly evolved from just defendant Sean Combs and his family to include a constant rotation of suspected adult workers and other A-list celebrities such as French Montana and actor Cuban Gooding Jr. Staff was often treated with disrespect. Suspected adult workers were sprawled out unconscious about the yacht, and it was difficult to distinguish which bottles of alcohol were laced with and which bottles were not. The suit went on. She also claimed that he allegedly tried to touch and SA her multiple times, but she was lucky enough to get away. However, that changed on one occasion when he came dangerously close to getting his way with her. According to reports, Christian then allegedly demanded she find him a place to sleep on the yacht, and she suggested the cinema room as there were no spare cabins available. The suit claimed the cinema has one door to exit and enter. Plaintiff entered the room and defendant Christian Combs blocked her from exiting. Plaintiff retreated to a corner of the room and defendant Christian Combs became physical and extremely aggressive. He cornered plaintiff and started to grope her. It continued. Plaintiff pushed him back constantly. Defendant Christian Combs then took off all his clothes. His privates were erect and he grabbed her arms and was trying to force plaintiff to perform oral copulation on him. The plaintiff began fighting defendant C. Combs, and not long after, her partner on board entered the cinema. The suit claims this startled her alleged attacker and she was finally able to flee. When she tried to complain, she got fired. She went on to claim that she allegedly lost her partner who struggled to deal with the situation, having seen the bruises on her body and dealt with the mental and emotional ramifications. Omarka suffered anxiety and panic attacks, developed an eating disorder, and even thought about ending her own life, the suit claimed. When the lawsuit was first filed, Diddy's legal team released a statement on Christian's behalf that said, "We have not seen this woman's claim, but I'm sure we can expect the same kind of manufactured lies we've come to expect from Tyrone Blackburn and his client, just as we saw in Rodney Jones's lawsuit, which has yet to be served." He adds, "They learned about the lawsuit the same way anyone hears about Mr. Blackburn's foulings, through the media. They've been trying really hard to get the case thrown out of court, but it's been a year, and the judge has turned down their petition over and over again." Well, it was recently revealed that the case is going to trial, and it's going to be a jury trial. If this does go to trial, it's not going to be good for Christian. His daddy's legal drama is going to look bad on him, and it's going to be pretty tough to find juror members who don't have some sort of bias because of it. The stakes are super high for Christian, which explains why he is supposedly working with the feds. It's a dog-eat-dog world out there, and he's putting himself first before his dad. However, this isn't sitting well with his siblings because they feel like he's betraying their dad, which he probably is. All 7 of Diddy's kids have been sticking together and putting up a united front and standing up for their dad. Well, technically 6 of them, because the baby is only 2 and she has no idea what's going on. But if Christian is snitching on Diddy, well, it makes the rest of them look bad and increases the risk of their father going to prison. And it just doesn't stop there. If he's found guilty, there's more at stake than just his freedom. See, before this mess started, Diddy was a billionaire, but all that changed, and now he's only worth about $400 million. That's still a lot of money, but it gets worse. According to reports, Diddy's indictment also includes a forfeiture action that could result in him losing almost all of his net worth, as prosecutors have alleged that he has used money to support a criminal enterprise. A criminal forfeiture is an action brought as part of the criminal prosecution of a defendant, according to the FBI. It is against that person and requires the government to seize the property used in the commission of the crime, along with the defendant, according to the agency. This has been especially hard on the twins because Diddy is the only parent they have left. So not only is he likely going to prison, but they're about to go broke AF. And have y'all seen the lavish lives those girls live? There's no way that they can survive without daddy's money, especially when they're not going to college and have no plans to get a job. Yeah, it's really not that surprising that they would hate on Christian for trying to get their father locked up. But anywho, I want to know how y'all feel about this, so drop your thoughts in the comments, then check out this next video.